Today on Catherine Learns Stuff, we're going to learn how to mend some holey pants so that they can last longer for kids. So all I need for this project is a pair of pants with a hole in it, some leftover fabric from other projects or other ruined clothes, and some fusing tape. So this hole is pretty big. So what I like to do beforehand is I like to just close it a little bit with a needle and thread so that the fusing tape doesn't melt all the way through into the pants and fuse the pants shut. And also it helps to keep sort of the pants in line so that it's not uncomfortable for my kids. So first what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to just sew this hole shut loosely. So just with my needle and thread, I've got a bunch of threads from the dollar store that match pretty much any color under the moon. I'm just loosely going to sew this closed to give it shape, but I'm not going to pull the thread tight because the pants have broken in that spot and have been worn out. So just going to leave it sort of loose. So it's just loose like that. I don't really need to worry too much about tying off the knot properly. It's just to hold the pants in place. So what I like to do is try to keep the materials the same color if I can, but so it doesn't stand out too much. And I like to have it sort of the full length of the knee area just so that it gives a little bit more integrity to stop it from ripping again. So for these pants, I'm going to cut this strip about this big here so that I've got the material of the full size. It doesn't need to be perfect, but the closer it gets to the edges, the better chance it has of staying on your children's legs longer. So that's the piece of material that I'm going to use to patch this hole. It's a lot bigger than my actual hole, but I know my kids well enough to know that this is going to help keep the pants alive for a little bit longer. Now the fun part begins. So I use this fusing tape. It's just clear bonding fabric bonding tape. You can get a link to it in the comments below. I find that this works the best of all the ones that I've tried. It's not very thick. You can buy thicker ones. So this was only ½ inch thick. You can get 1 inch thick or wider. This was just all that was available, and I needed to fix some pants, so I'm going to use it all up before I buy more. But what I do is I basically just cut out a whole bunch of strips that cover the full length of this material. So I'll have about 10 or 15 strips through the whole length, so that I've got a good fuse through the whole thing. Now that my material is ready, I'm going to pull up my iron and my ironing board so that I can iron this all together. So I have a piece of Teflon paper that I like to use when I'm mending pants, just because sometimes the glue from the fusing tape comes out, and I don't want that on my ironing board because I use this for other stuff as well. So this keeps everything nicely contained. I've got my material ready to go with my pants. So I like to reline this up on the material by hand, just to make sure that I can see where it's all going. It takes extra few moments, but it's not a big deal. And so it's hard to see here, but there's actually, since the legs widen out as they go up, there's a bit here that doesn't actually get fusing tape. So what I will do is I'm going to cut a piece here so I've got additional material, but not the full length over the seam of the pants. I just don't like this over the seams because then it's hard to make sure that it stays attached. So I have my fusing tape over my pants, and I just need to place the material over top of the fusing tape. So a lot of the times it's hard to see because it's gray here, but I'll have a little bit of fusing tape sticking out of the sides on the top and the bottom. That's okay. This fusing tape will melt in. I will trim some of it so that it's not as far out, but it doesn't matter if it comes out because it becomes invisible pretty much once it's out. Okay, so now my pants are ready to be done. I just fold over my Teflon paper. And I've got my iron set to cotton. And I just hold this on here for about 30 seconds. So I'm just checking around the edges to see where the fusing tape didn't connect. This edge here is okay because I'm going to trim this off so it's not right over the seam of the pants. And everywhere else it seems to have been connected well. It fused well. Turn my iron off. And the one last thing that's not needed, but sometimes I like to do, is I will add in a stitch here and a stitch here by hand just to keep the pants together longer. My kids are really good at running around on their knees, so this helps hold it in, but it's not needed. So I'm just going to snip off this extra edges here that I don't need, making sure not to cut the pants, because we don't want to just cut the pants that we fixed. And I've got a bin full of multicolored threads from the dollar store, so I'm just going to use my gray one, and I'm just going to do a quickly stitch around. And there you have it, the patch is all done. The patches are pretty plain, but everyone's got their own personalities. So I've got matching hearts, just reds and just grays, depending on who's wearing it. You can pick a more colorful material if you'd like, or with a fancier design, but this is what my kids like, and it's a quick fix for pants to make them last an extra season. If you like the tutorial, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.